My name is Sergio Morales, and I'm a graduate student at the University of Texas at Austin, and I'm studying community and regional planning as well as Latin American studies. So this summer, I'm collaborating with the Parents Climate community by hosting workshops in East Austin, introducing young people as well as parents and guardians to the concept of Photovoice, the methodology of Photovoice. And these workshops, as well as this online Photovoice series, is part of the Frontline Community Partnerships for Climate Justice Project, which is an initiative led by Professors Miriam Solis and Professor Carmen Valdez at the University of Texas at Austin. And this project is also part of the Planet Texas 2050 initiative, which is also a climate related at the University of Texas at Austin. So this is the first video for our online Photovoice series. So before watching our audio videos, I really highly recommend watching this video first, because this video teaches you the foundation about what Photovoice is and what Photovoice does and its impact. So I highly recommend watching this video first before getting to the other videos. So now we're gonna start with talking about Photovoice. So Photovoice, essentially, to summarize into one sentence, is a tool that uses photography to collect information, and then with that information, it can be used to express community concerns and priorities. So what is unique about Photovoice is that a lot of times in a lot of research methodologies, it is usually the researcher from the higher institution that goes out into a community and then researches and collects information about that community. But in this case, it is the people themselves, the people from the community themselves, that go about their own communities, and then they highlight what they want to prioritize and the issues they are experiencing in their communities, and they research, they collect their own information. So this is very special because, again, like this kind of challenges the traditional power structures in higher education institutions, where it is the researcher, where it's the expert, but in this case, it is the people, it is the residents from the community who are the experts, and they have agency in the research they're doing and what they want to present and express. So this methodology was created by Carolyn Wang and Mary M. Burris in the 1990s when they went to China and they wanted to document the lived experiences of rural women in order to integrate them more in decision-making process at a regional level. And in general, Photovoice is used when there is a need to create awareness about a certain issue. So let's say you're part of a climate justice group in your city and you want to document the effects of climate change in your city, then Photovoice will be a perfect opportunity to do that. It is a very participatory way to explore these issues, and also it is a very fun way to engage with people of your organization or people of your community. So this is essentially what Photovoice is in a nutshell. So if you want to do a Photovoice project, the process entails four main parts. So the first part is framing the issues. The second part involves collecting information through photography. Then this involves analysis. And then finally, we get to reporting and celebrating. So firstly, framing the issues. By this, it's mostly like you have to learn what Photovoice is, also to the topic that you want to explore through your Photovoice project. Not only learn yourself, but also you also have to let other people know, especially your participants, your project participants, about what all of this is about. So this part of the project, you host workshops. You host workshops with the community, with your participants, and y'all talk about what Photovoice is, how Photovoice has been used in the past, and what Photovoice is important. You introduce people to photography techniques, how to write narratives to them, and then you also introduce people to the topic of your project. So let's say we go with the climate justice example again. If you want to do a Photovoice about climate justice in, let's say, Austin, then you will also have to organize workshops about climate justice, introducing people to climate justice, and also talk about climate justice in the context of Austin, Texas. So you have to do this also too, in addition to introducing people to Photovoice. So this is what the first part of the Photovoice process is about: framing the issues and education in general, educating people about Photovoice and the certain topic of your project. So now you get to the second part of the process, which is collecting information. So this is when it involves photography. You go out to the community, your participants go out to the community, and they take pictures of what they want to document according to the topic of your project. And usually, a lot of times you would give prompts to people. So let's say, again, the climate justice example, if you want to document the effects of climate change in, let's say, Austin again, then you will have to like give people prompts. For example, take a picture of something that is an effect of climate change in your community, or take a picture of something outside that you would like to change. And then people read that, and then they go out to their communities and then take pictures answering that prompt. So if they see, let's say, like a creek that is drying up, then people will take a picture of that. So that's what collecting information in a way is about. And then that's where we get to the third part of the process, which is analyzing our data. In this case, writing out our stories. So in this part, everybody, the participants, they come all together, they form groups, and then they talk about the pictures that they took. They talk about what they like, what they want to showcase, what it's important to them. And then from that, they select pictures they want to write stories about. And then that's when they write their own stories and they give each other feedback in this process. And this is kind of like what an analysis would be about. And also, like I mentioned, again, in usual circumstances, it is the researcher that does the analysis, but in this case, it is the people themselves that do the analysis. The people from the community themselves do the analysis. And writing stories is a good way to also analyze this information, or I guess in other terms, the data. And another cool thing about this part of the Photovoice process is that it also helps build community. So when people are writing their narratives, they give each other feedback, they tell about their pictures to everybody else. A lot of people might notice patterns. So for example, someone talks about something, someone else can be like, hey, like I noticed this is also an issue in my community. And then another person could be like, hey, also I agree with that as well. This is also an issue in my community. And then a lot of like notes, a lot of patterns would connect. And then from that, a lot of people might say, a lot of us have had an issue with this. So let's bring this as a priority when sharing with the community about the problems in our neighborhood. So this is also a good way to like identify issues in communities and then work together towards solving those issues. And then also you get to know more people. You get to know more about their lives, their specific communities, and like issues, their experiences. And then from that, you could connect their lived experiences with yours as well. So this is also a good way to build community as well. And also to, aside from just, I guess, analyzing your picture and writing a story, you also get to build community. So finally, we get to the celebrating part. So for this part, it's all about showcasing and sharing with the greater community what your project is about and what you want to express. So in this part, usually you would need like a venue of some sort, like a lot of times like a library or community center, and you will organize an exhibition of the Photovoice project. So in this exhibition, you would have the pictures, you will have the narratives, you will also be hosting events for people. And in these events, like a lot of the participants can talk about their experience through the project, and also they can talk about their photographs and the narratives that they wrote. And then from that, like any suggestions regarding policy changes or areas of improvement in their communities, they could also voice that as well. So in these celebrations or in these events, like it is for the greater community, especially like regular people, community leaders, policymakers, everybody is invited. And then at the end, everybody has like a collective discussion about the issues that were brought up in the Photovoice project. And then from there, based on everybody's background and expertise and their experiences, that's when everybody can be like, okay, how can we work together to solve these issues that were presented? So this is the final part of the Photovoice project, reporting and celebrating. So then we get to the question, why Photovoice? Why Photovoice is a very important way to engage with people, and also why it is very participatory way to engage with people. And there's three main reasons. And the first part, or the first reason, is that it engages well with people. It mobilizes people. It mobilizes people in a way that it encourages people to go outside, to go about their communities, explore their communities, and research their own communities instead of letting someone else do that for them. Like it is them themselves that go about their own communities and then do the documenting, the research process. And because of this, it engages with local knowledge, which leads to our second point, which is that Photovoice focuses on the everyday experiences. And this is very important because in a lot of decision-making processes, a lot of the everyday experiences might be overlooked. Or yeah, it might be overlooked because they might appear small, but in the end, like I mentioned, like they are very important. And Photovoice helps highlight that as well. So this is the second part of why Photovoice is also a participatory way to engage with people, is that it focuses on the everyday experiences that would otherwise be overlooked. And finally, we get to our final point, which is that, which I kind of referenced earlier, like Photovoice, the entire process helps build community. So this entire process is done communally, it's done in collective. So you and your participants, y'all learn together about Photovoice, y'all learn together about the issues in your communities, then you take pictures and then you come back together and write narratives together, you share your pictures together, and through that you get to know each other and your communities and a lot of things that affect your community. And then because of that, it helps build community. And then it also allows an opportunity to build community with the greater city or the greater area. So again, you have these celebrations, these venues, these events to share your story, share the Photovoice project with other people. And it is also a community building opportunity as well, not just with regular people, but also community leaders, community organizers, and also policymakers. So there's also a great opportunity to build community. And now we get to the end of our first video. So thank you so much for watching. Like I mentioned before, this is an online Photovoice series. So make sure to watch our other videos as well. We have other videos on an example of a Photovoice project in Pharr, Texas, which I highly recommend watching. So you can see Photovoice in action. We also have videos of specific components of Photovoice. So we also have a video on how to take better pictures using photography techniques. And then from that, how that can help you explain a story in your picture itself. In another video, we will also be discussing the show method, which is a very popular way to express or write a story, to write a narrative of your picture. And then we will also be having a video of additional things to consider when it comes to organizing a Photovoice project. So yes, we will have the links of these videos in the description of this video below. So please feel free to check them out, and please feel free to check them out. And yeah, thank you for your time. We hope you're able to learn about Photovoice. And yes, thank you for watching. And hopefully I might see you in another video. So thank you all.